The gripping stories of innocent convicts finally tasting freedom. What happens when the prison doors open and they step out into a world that has moved on without them? How do these individuals who've been wrongfully confined for years react to the newfound liberty they so desperately craved? Join us as we uncover the profound journeys of these exonerated souls, their triumphs, their struggles, and the resilience that defines their path to redemption. Get ready to be moved as we explore the aftermath of innocence regained. Stay tuned, because this is a story you won't want to miss. David Bryant. In 1975, a tragic incident occurred when 8-year-old Karen Smith was found murdered, leading to the arrest of 18-year-old David Bryant. As a family friend of Karen, Bryant was accused of sexually assaulting and killing her, a crime that would haunt him for the next 38 years of his life. During his time in prison, Bryant endured numerous attacks from fellow inmates who believed in his guilt, and he even survived a stabbing that left him severely injured. Adding to the weight of his imprisonment, both of his parents passed away, never witnessing their only child being exonerated from these heinous accusations. Consequently, upon his release, Bryant found himself devoid of any meaningful connections or support in the outside world. However, thanks to the tireless efforts of Centurion Ministries, a non-profit organization dedicated to overturning wrongful convictions, Bryant's name was eventually cleared. The organization contended that his lawyer had failed to provide a proper defense, and when DNA tests were finally conducted on the crime scene evidence, Bryant's DNA did not match the samples. Finally, in 2013, at the age of 56, Bryant was released from prison, finally free from the burden of a crime he did not commit. As an example of the many experiences and cultural shifts that Bryant missed during his years behind bars, we can look at his first night of freedom. Unable to sleep, he turned on the television and stumbled upon the classic TV show Knight Rider. This encounter with a pop culture phenomenon from the 1980s left Bryant astounded and awestruck, as he realized just how much he'd missed out on during his long confinement. David Renter. In a harrowing case that unfolded in 1990, a man's life was irrevocably changed due to a series of grave injustices. A failed jewelry heist escalated into a tragic incident, resulting in the death of Rabbi Haskell Versberger, a beloved Holocaust survivor, and the theft of his vehicle. Amidst public outcry for justice, David Renter became the unfortunate scapegoat for this heinous crime. Under immense pressure to solve the murder of the revered rabbi, the police pinned the blame on David Renter, utilizing manipulative tactics to secure a confession. Tragically, much of the vital paperwork pertaining to the investigation had gone missing, casting doubts on the legitimacy of the evidence. Furthermore, it was later revealed that a witness had been coached by the police to identify Renter from a lineup. Despite the glaring inconsistencies and the Courier's explicit statement that Renter was not the perpetrator, he was wrongfully convicted and sentenced to nearly 4 decades behind bars. However, in 2011, after enduring 23 years of wrongful imprisonment, the truth finally started to emerge. A witness, who was a young boy at the time, confessed that he had been coerced into identifying Renter as the culprit. Additionally, another woman came forward, revealing that her late husband had actually been responsible for the fatal shooting. With these revelations, David Renter, now 58 years old, was finally granted his freedom. The case of David Renter serves as a poignant reminder of the grave consequences that can arise from flawed investigations and coerced testimonies. It sheds light on the urgency to uphold the principles of justice and to rectify past mistakes. Renter's release after a long and unjust imprisonment stands as a testament to the power of truth and the tireless pursuit of justice. As David Renter steps back into a world forever changed, his story serves as a sobering reminder that even in the face of overwhelming adversity, the human spirit can endure, and the pursuit of justice can ultimately prevail. Michael Morton. In a tragic turn of events that unfolded in 1987, Michael Morton's life took a devastating turn when he was wrongfully convicted for the murder of his wife. The heinous crime had occurred in their home while their 3-year-old son Eric helplessly witnessed the brutal beating that claimed his mother's life. During the investigation, the police interviewed the young child, who bravely recounted that his father was not present and it was a monster who had committed the terrible act. However, due to his tender age, Eric's testimony was deemed unreliable and insufficient to establish guilt, raising the question of why he was interviewed at all. ultimately leading to Michael's conviction and a life sentence behind bars. Years later, the Innocence Project took up Michael's case and pursued DNA testing on a crucial piece of evidence, a bandana discovered near the crime scene. This breakthrough development proved to be the turning point that would not only exonerate Michael, but also potentially identify the true killer. The DNA analysis of the cloth revealed a match with an individual already present in the DNA database. While the person's identity could not be disclosed, the significant lead injected new life into an otherwise stagnant investigation. After enduring an agonizing 25-year imprisonment, Michael was finally set free at the age of 57. The case of Michael Morton serves as a stark reminder of the flaws and injustices that can plague the criminal justice system. The mishandling of evidence and the disregard for the testimony of a young child deprived an innocent man of his freedom for a quarter of a century. However, it also underscores the crucial role organizations like the Innocence Project play in uncovering the truth and fighting for justice. As Michael Morton walked out of prison into a world vastly different from the one he left behind, his story serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the unwavering pursuit of justice. While his release brings long overdue vindication, it also serves as a solemn reminder of the work that still needs to be done to prevent future miscarriages of justice. May the case of Michael Morton stand as a testament to the power of perseverance, the importance of thorough investigations, and the ongoing commitment to reforming a system that should always prioritize truth and justice above all else. Damon Thibodeau. In a horrifying miscarriage of justice, Damon Thibodeau found himself accused of the rape and murder of his 14-year-old cousin in 1996. After enduring a grueling 9-hour interrogation by the police, Damon reached a breaking point and confessed to the crime. However, he recanted his confession later that same day, but it was already too late. He was sentenced to death. The sheer horror of being wrongfully convicted for such a heinous act is unimaginable, but Damon's ordeal was far from over. He spent a staggering 15 years in solitary confinement, enduring 23 hours a day in isolation. The psychological toll of such extreme treatment is enough to crush any human spirit. Fortunately, it was the relentless efforts of the Innocence Project that eventually uncovered the truth. Through DNA testing, it was revealed that another man was the actual perpetrator of the crime, and furthermore, the young girl had not been molested at all. The witness who claimed to have seen Damon at the crime scene was proven to have seen him after the body had been discovered and after he had already been arrested. Damon's confession had been coerced in a desperate attempt to escape death row, a desperate ploy that tragically failed. This shocking case not only highlights the fallibility of our justice system, but also sheds light on the inhumane treatment endured by those who are wrongfully convicted. Damon's 15 years in solitary confinement serve as a haunting reminder of the profound consequences of unjust punishments. The devastating impact of Damon Thibodeau's wrongful conviction should prompt serious reflection among proponents of extreme forms of punishment. His innocence, coupled with the unimaginable suffering he endured, challenges the very foundations of a system that seeks to deliver justice. As we bear witness to Damon's story, we must recognize the importance of continuous scrutiny and reform to prevent further injustices. Damon's innocence should serve as a rallying cry for a more compassionate and just approach to our criminal justice system, one that prioritizes truth, fairness, and the preservation of human dignity. Daniel Larson. In 1998, Daniel Larson's life took a devastating turn when he was accused of carrying a concealed knife during a bar fight and allegedly hiding it under a car before the arrival of the police. The following year, 2 officers testified that they witnessed Larson discarding the knife under the car. With 2 prior serious convictions on his record, California's 3 strikes law led to a harsh sentence of 27 years in prison. However, a decade later, the Innocence Project, renowned for their relentless pursuit of justice, entered the picture. They unearthed a retired police chief and several other witnesses who were ready to testify that it was, in fact, another individual who had discarded the knife. Astonishingly, these witnesses were known during Larson's initial trial but were never called upon, leaving the reasons for their exclusion shrouded in mystery. Armed with this compelling new evidence, a judge determined Larson's innocence and ordered his release. However, an unfortunate turn of events unfolded as his legal team had filed a habeas corpus petition beyond the specified time frame. Despite being declared innocent, Larson remained imprisoned. Outraged by this injustice, a petition emerged, garnering an astounding 90,000 signatures as people rallied behind the cause. Finally, in 2013, at the age of 45, Daniel Larson walked out of prison, having spent 13 agonizing years behind bars. The case of Daniel Larson serves as a glaring example of the flaws that can permeate the criminal justice system. Witnesses who could have provided crucial exonerating testimony were inexplicably overlooked, leading to an innocent man being wrongfully incarcerated. The tireless efforts of the Innocence Project, combined with the outcry from thousands of concerned individuals, ultimately brought about justice for Larson, but not without years of pain and suffering. This harrowing tale underscores the importance of constant scrutiny, transparency, and access to a fair and impartial legal process. The fight for justice must continue, not only to secure the freedom of those wrongly convicted, but also to address the systemic issues that contribute to such grave injustices. Well, that's all for today's video. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing to our YouTube channel for more thought-provoking content. Don't forget to leave your comments and suggestions down below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.